So, sitting up nice and straight, and try to feel your spine like a totem pole, with the crown of your head reaching into the sky, and your pelvic floor buried, digging deep into the earth, and the rest of your spine aligned with the earth and sky and the greater macrocosm around us. You might want to mute yourself. Take a deep inhale, chanting Om. So every chakra has a seed syllable, a seed mantra, and Om is actually the seed mantra for the third eye, but we're going to chant the one for the throat, which is Hum. Sometimes they say hum, but we're going to chant this mantra, Om Hum Namaha. So chant with me 9 times. Om Hum Namaha. 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 With your eyes closed, just breathing, and slightly close the back of your throat so you can hear that your breath, your life force, is emanating from the throat area. So this, of course, benefits our communication outwards and inwards, and that bridge between the macrocosm and the microcosm. So just feel that stimulation. And now we're going to do another excellent pranayama called Brahmari pranayama. This is the pranayama of the bumblebee, and it stimulates the same area, which is where there's a lot going on, which we'll learn about in a minute. So how I like to do this is with your thumbs on your ears, your pointing finger at your third eye, and your other 3 fingers just on the tips of your inner eyelids. So there's Marma points here, and they're very delicate, just like your eye tissue. So be careful to adjust your fingertips. And we're going to exhale that sound. We want the teeth to be slightly apart, the lips to just be touching, the tip of the tongue to reach up behind the upper teeth. And we're going to do this 3 times. So with the exhalation, that's when we're going to do a little bit of a chin lock. You'll lift the chest up as you exhale. You'll tuck the chin in and make that sound. So here we go. Take a deep inhale. Hold the breath, chin lock. So when you're finished, slowly, slowly, slowly release your hands, and then just let your hands come to rest. And I would like to just read you a little bit from the expert, Dr. Laud, in this fantastic book. Brahmari means female bumblebee. A bee goes to a flower while creating this buzzing sound and collects the honey from that flower. In this case, the 1,000-petaled lotus of the Sahasra is the flower, and the Jivatman, the lower consciousness, is the bee that enters the flower, the brain. It drinks the honey, which is soma. Dr. Laud translates soma as serotonin. If you do Brahmari pranayama, it opens the crown chakra, which causes the honey of love, soma, to flow, making the mind quiet and blissful. Brahmari also causes sound waves from the throat to enter the heart, stimulating the pacemaker SA node, improving coronary circulation, and helping to prevent heart disease. It is also useful for depression, anxiety, tachycardia, psychosis, and psychoneurosis. Wow. So it's a great exercise, and it's super for immunity, and it also is really good for communication. So when we're, in relationship, which we all are, and how do we relate, and how do our words come out, and do they really represent how we feel on the deeper level? And just also like a bridge. So now we're going to stimulate our first marma, and these 4 weeks are just going to be 1 marma per week. And these are the 4 main marmas for the immunity system. So right here is the sternum, and the suprasternal notch is here. It's right below that suprasternal notch called the manubrium. And that's a little bone. That's the beginning of the sternum, or the topmost part of the sternum, and it lies right in front of the thymus gland. So when you stimulate this, this is a very sensitive one, and it's sensitive skin tissue. So I like to do like little half moon stimulation. So like my fingers press and they do a half moon, and then they kind of come away. Not so much that I lose the touch of my skin, but I'm not pushing. And you can go a little deeper, a little stronger. Let your own intuition tell you how far and deeply to go. So marmas are part of our body map. They're part of our mental map, and they're part of our spiritual map. If we think of our body, mind, and spirit as a huge city, the nadis are like roads. Those are the subtle nerves. And the chakras are these big plexus of places where people or energies come together. And they come together either to provide like great things for our life, or they come and they stagnate, they get toxins, we get blocked. So think of the body map. And then the marmas are bridges. They are located where 2 joints come together, or bones, or veins, or an artery, or a nerve touch ending is very powerful. So stimulating the marmas helps to create, again, like this bridge of communication between the external and the internal, and vice versa, between the internal and the external. Marma is a word that meant originally to harm. And so they're vulnerable points, and they were used in the art of Kalari. Kalari is from South India, and it was a martial art. And so they knew these points, and they knew they could really hurt somebody or destroy their opponent by pressing on these parts. And some of them are so sensitive that if you hit them strongly, the person can die kind of quickly. So we want to know them for both prevention and for therapy. So they can create prevention and they can also be therapeutic. And so this is called Jatru. Jatru is preservation, it's maintenance, it's support. And because of its location right above the thymus gland is actually called the seat of Ojas. And Ojas is our super fine immunity sap. And it comes from when our Kapha dosha, our structure support system, is strong. It creates this stuff called Ojas. And most of it, about 8 drops, is in the heart. There's not a lot. And sometimes Dr. Laud kind of translates Ojas to be like a type of the hormone that's found in the cerebrospinal fluid. So he just said serotonin, but I think it's more than just serotonin. It's this super fine essence, and it's light yellow. It's the color of ghee. So when we stimulate this area, we can just feel our immunity like the color yellow and shining out like a diaphanous yellow, a see-through yellow. And if you look at the deities and how they're represented in pictures, there's often this light colored yellow because their immunity is very strong. So this benefits cellular digestion and cellular detox, which is really important when we think about immunity and we think about autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases come when our cellular intelligence is dull, when there is ignorance in our cells. And so we're built of cells. We have gazillions of cells. So this Marma and stimulation of this Marma actually helps to create a stronger digestive fire in the cellular tissues, the 7 dhatus of the body, starting with plasma, blood, muscle, bone, fat, nerve, reproductive. And when all those tissues are very well maintained, we have an experience of Ojas, okay? So another fantastic benefit is the throat, the speech, communication. It benefits it's right near the respiratory system. It's right near the cardiac system. It's right near the trachea and the tracheal plexus and the thyroid and the parathyroid. So it's like this huge area of power and immunity. And so learning a little bit about the lymph detox massage and Ayurveda and other systems, this is a really important place that we often stimulate first. And we can often stimulate on the sides of the suprasternal notch. And then also you're gonna pull the energy out to the axillary lymph, which is the armpits. And I then like to change and cross my wrists, kind of like Wonder Woman. And again, I'm doing this kind of milking action where I'm taking the energy both from my chest and my side breast, and I'm sending the energy into my armpits. And at any time, if you need to swallow or yawn during this process, it's very good because that's how the lymph works. It's pulling these viruses and bacterias, and it's sending them back to the heart and that area where they can further be filtrated out of the system. So I like to do Jatru, and then I like to kind of end by squeezing my axillary pits. Now, don't press so hard, it's like massaging the muscle. That's not lymph detox. It has to be quite gentle, and you don't want it towards the breast or towards the belly. You want it towards the armpit, okay? So on a more subtle level, this Marma point enhances longevity and bhakti. So bhakti is one of the four main aspects of yoga, and bhakti it really means devotion. So whatever we're devoted to really enhance that devotion. Like we could use it with, even if we have a partner and things have been not so good lately, we could massage this marma. We could think of them, we could think lovingly of them, we could think lovingly of ourselves with them and start to improve that relationship. So then let's see. Let's do some practice. Let's take our legs out in front of us and stretch our legs out and come into Vajrasana. So Vajrasana, now not everybody may be able to do this. If you can't, you can just do whatever is comfortable for you. But I am sitting on my shins and I'm going to inhale like a windmill, my right arm up. And really reach the right arm high, and so high that you feel the whole right rib cage, the intercostal muscles, which are right on top of the pleural cavity area in the lungs. So really reach up, stretch that area, and then like a swimmer, just let it go back. And then the other side, reaching that arm up. So when you turn your head to the side and stretch this, and just kind of notice how this is affecting this whole area. And then really breathe, reach up, and stretch it. And you can feel it in your waist too. Inhale. Now this time you're going to take your other arm out to the side and stretch over. And then just stay here and breathe into the intercostal spaces. So we're stimulating detox in our lung tissues specifically here. So any respiratory bacteria, viruses, stagnation is being benefited. Come on up. And the other side. So I'm reaching up, I'm turning my palm out, I'm looking out to that side. And then it's kind of like I decided to go in the opposite direction, and I'm going to take my arm over my ear and let my head come neutral and breathe. Now I can feel this all the way from my hip crest, through my waist, through my ribs, arm, and then inhale and come up. Good. So I've put this tape on my chest so we can see the way we want the energy to flow towards Jatru. So it's as if I have a bra on, and I'm going to take the bra strap area towards Jatru. And I'm going to, in this case, take my hands behind my back, interlace my hands. Now I got to be careful because I tend to do this in my mid-back. I want us to do it really from the bra strap up. Turn, I'll turn towards you, to the right, and then roll your shoulders back and feel that bra strap moving up so much that it makes you lift your chin away from your chest. Breathing in, breathing out. And then come center, and then go the opposite direction, and my shoulders are back, my bra strap is pushing diagonally up and forward. That's opening my chest like a golden yellow light, lifting my chin up, and then come center, and then release. And then come up onto your hands and knees. And I'm going to take, again, my bra strap towards my chest. And I'm going to roll the shoulders back, send the sitting bones back, pull the abdomen in, and stretch the chin forward. And just kind of breathing, and we know where that Jatru is, so we're stretching it with Asana. Breathing in, breathing out. Now we're going to come into puppy pose. And if you'd like to, you can use a block. And I'm going to put the block for my forehead. So my knees are underneath my hips. My arms are straight. Now, I don't really need this block. It's almost too much. It's kind of inhibiting my chest. So make sure that you need it. It's really if you can't get your head to rest on anything solid, then the block feels really nice. Now, another way we could use the block, if you're flexible, you could stretch your chin like a dog rests his chin on your lap forward. This is quite intense on the neck, so it might not be super wonderful, but try one of those poses, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Great. Okay, so now we're going to come up onto the hands and knees. And so when we think of downward facing dog, which we do so much in most of our asana classes, sometimes, especially in Ashtanga, this happens, where we're looking at our navel, which is the chin lock is stimulating the jatru, but we lose a little of that bra strap to heart opener. So for today, we're going to take our feet a little further back, and we're going to try to stretch the arms and bring our chest towards our ankles. And think of engaging the back muscles where the bra strap, if you're wearing one, if you're not wearing one, would be towards the heart. Breathing in and breathing out. And then you're going to walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana. Now, if you still have that block, you're going to take the block and another block and just put your head down and rest with your knees above your feet, your hips above your knees, and trying to straighten the legs. So I have two blocks, even though I'm quite flexible. I'm trying not to stress myself. I'm trying to de-stress. So I'm going to take my fingertips on the earth, and I'm going to roll my shoulders away from the blocks, away from the earth. Try to stretch the chest forward, press the feet, and inhale, come on up. So your feet can either be together or as wide as your hips. You're going to reach your arms up and come into Urdhva Tadasana. So upward facing mountain. I'm going to rise up on the balls of my feet, breathing in and breathing out. Now think about my blue tape or your bra strap or where a bra strap would be. And see if you can send it up diagonally into jatru, almost so much that it makes your chin lift a little bit. Now slowly release the heels down. And this is a namaskar to ojas. So we're going to bring ourselves into Tadasana. And we're going to start with our arms down by the sides of our thighs. And we're going to start with that windmill action. So I'm going to reach the right arm, and I'm going to turn the left arm, turn the right arm, the left arm. Both arms are going to come up. And I'm going to, again, reach up in the chest as far as I can. And exhale, fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, just like the sun salutation, Trini, I'm going to lift and I'm going to emphasize the energy at the chest. And then bend the knees, take the hands to the floor. Inhale, take the right leg back, take the right knee down. Come up to your fingertips and let your groins, so there's lymph here in the groins, just like in the armpits. So these are the inguinal area of lymph that we're stretching. And then again, I'm gonna pull my shoulders back and send that raw strap line forward, possibly inhaling, lifting the chin. Taking the palms down, tuck the right toes, push back to downward facing dog. And again, a little bit longer dog, pressing the chest towards the feet, and then raising the heels as high as you can. So the feet have a lot of marmas as well, trying to keep the hips up high, and then stretch the heels down. Inhale, come into plank pose. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, bend the knees to the floor, open the knees, bring the big toes to touch, and come back into child's pose. Inhale, you're gonna come up into a rounded spine position. So you're on your hands and knees, really tuck the head and tuck the tail. And then exhale into this cat pose where we're stretching the whole sternum. Inhale, bring your heart down to the earth and then slide forward so you're fully on the earth and walk your forearms forward. And then you're gonna inhale here, pulling the shoulders back, the chest forward. This is Sphinx pose. And exhale, turn your chin over your right shoulder. Inhale, come center. Exhale, turn your chin over your left shoulder. Inhale, come center. Really feel all this flesh. Now we're gonna do lion pose. So with your exhale, you're gonna throw your breath out through your mouth, roar like a lion, and stick your tongue out. And then come down, take your hands by your waist, engage your knees, legs off the floor, so that inhale, you come into upward facing dog. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, take the right foot forward, come into knee down, toe pointed, and pressing into those inguinal lymph area. Not too strong. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chin, and tuck the back toes. Come forward, Uttanasana. Press the feet down, rise up. And we're gonna rise all the way, lifting the heels way high up. Sometimes this is called palm tree pose, and it's excellent for the immune system, for concentration, for balance. And exhale, lower the heels and other side. Windmill, the left arm first, right arm, left arm, right arm. Both arms up, press the feet, and lift the sternum, lift the chin. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, extend legs, extend spine. And see, I want the shoulders away from my ears. Stretch the sternum forward. Bend both knees, press the palms. Take the left leg back, left knee down, left toes pointed. Now, if you're pretty comfortable here, you can reach back and take the hands behind the skull as, again, we press the shoulder tips forward into the front sternum. Release the hands, tuck the left toes, take both legs back, press the chest towards the ankles, lift the heels up. Exhale, heels down. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale, stay here. Bend the knees, bring the big toes together and drop back into child's pose. And then we're gonna round up. So your tail is tucked, your head is tucked, your chin is tucked, and rounding the spine as much as you can. And then Exhale, arching the spine as much as you can. Bending the elbows, inhale, bringing the sternum down. Inhale, slide out and slide up to Sphinx pose. Bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders. Inhale here. Again, let the shoulders pull down and back. Sternum forward. Exhale, chin to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, chin to the right. Inhale, center. And exhale, lion pose. Inhale, exhale, let the head come down, the hands come back. And really roll the shoulders back to upward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. And if you want to, you can reach the arms up, clasp the hands behind the skull, opening the elbows, stretching the bra line forward. Exhale, tuck the back toes, reach forward with both feet, coming into Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up, press the feet, rise up on the balls of the feet. And lower. Okay, that seemed to go pretty well. So now standing with your legs wide, facing the screen if you can. So this is Prasarita Padottanasana C. We do it in the Ashtanga series, and why it's so good is because we're utilizing this position again with our arms. So our arms are gonna open, clasp the hands behind you, and then exhale, come forward, really pressing the feet, come forward, pressing the feet, releasing, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out too. So every time we consciously breathe in and breathe out, we're releasing toxins out of the system. When we really breathe into our rib cage, we're touching the pleural area, which is touching the lungs, which is helping our respiration. Full inhale, full exhale. Come on up, inhale. And exhale. Release the arms to the waist. Now we're gonna come down and put your hands on the floor about a foot or two in front of your feet, and press your left palm really center between both feet and lift your right arm up and twist to the side, rolling the shoulders away from the screen, rolling the hips away from the screen, and see if you can press that bra line to the right side. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, if you want to turn your head, you can. For me, it feels like too much to turn my head on top of this twist. Inhaling. And then take the right hand where the left hand was and change sides. Bring the left arm up and the shoulders away from the ears. Moving the chest towards the side wall, chest open. You can even lift the chin away from the chest a little bit. And then lower down and come on up to stand. Walk your feet together. So we're gonna do warrior 3. So I like to use blocks for warrior 3. So I'm gonna put my blocks down in front of me, about a foot. Now, if you don't have blocks, you could use a chair, you could use the side of a couch. It's a lot harder when you're just using the hands on the floor. So even though I feel like I've been practicing forever, I still need help. And so when I have the blocks to support my upper body, it means that I can really engage the legs and can feel that right leg. My right leg is back first, left foot on the floor. It's really pulling my lower back long. And then if you want to, release the hands away from the blocks. They can come forward, palms together. Good, hands on the blocks, lower that right leg, and just push the feet down, engage the glutes, come on up to Tadasana. Take a breath. One thing for our immunity we don't want to do is push and be forceful and go fast. That can easily kind of challenge our immunity. So you want to kind of go slow. Here we go, other side, right foot down, left foot back. And again, if you have a chair or a couch or something to hold on to, you can really feel that that left leg can pull the lower back almost in traction. Feel that left outer heel, the left inner heel pulling way back. And then that makes the balance possibly a little more possible. And then release, come both feet down, and then we're gonna come up to stand. Great. Then we're gonna practice headstand. So if you're not a headstand practitioner, what you can do is practice that Uttanasana, forward bend with your head on the blocks. And then try all the same cues I'm gonna give the rest of us who are going to take headstand today. So generally when you're on your menstrual cycle, you don't want to be going upside down for too long. If you have any unnecessary pressure in your head, in the sensory organs in your head, you don't want to be doing headstand. So my elbows are pressing, my wrists are pressing, and again, my shoulders are coming away from my ears, away from the earth, and I'm just gonna find my balance. You can also do this against a wall, but you really wanna make sure your neck is comfortable. Sometimes I like to just push and make sure I can easily lift my head off the floor. And so I know I'm using those forearms vigorously. And then it's kind of nice to open the feet as wide as your hips and engage the glutes. And lift the glutes up, lift the tops of the thighs up, and then close the legs. And extend the inseams of the legs and keep squeezing the glutes. Now it's good to try to work up to 5 to 10 minutes in headstand. Headstand is one of the best poses for immunity. So if you're a short headstander or you just haven't done much other than the Ashtanga 10 to 15 breaths, then it's a good time to start working into a little bit deeper, a little bit longer headstand, even if you need the support of a wall. I find that the more I squeeze those glutes, the more easily I can stay in the headstand. Okay, so we're all down, so let's rest in child's pose. And from child's pose, we might, again, stretch the arms forward, pull the shoulders back, stretch the bra strap line towards the chest and the chest towards the floor. At the same time, it's nice to feel your lower back protected by using the abdominals to move backward. And then just like our Ojas Namaskar, we're gonna come up onto the hands and knees. And this is usually an exhale. We're gonna inhale here. So kind of changing that breath pattern really is a good thing for our brain. So we're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale into the arch position. We're gonna inhale, lower the chest down, and then we're gonna slide out, and we're gonna prepare for Cobra pose. So my fingertips are in line with my shoulder tips, and I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and really have myself coming upward from the strength of my back. I'm not pushing, I'm not pulling, I'm just coming up with the strength of my back. Now, try to everyone feel where, if you had a bra on, or yoga bra, that strap would be in the back, try to press it forward diagonally towards Jatru. And at any time, we could internally be saying our mantra, Om, Hum, Namaha. And exhale, come down, make a pillow with your head, and turn your head to one side. Find your diaphragm, find your big belly breath, so the diaphragm drops down, the rib cage expands. Second round, we're gonna come up, and we're just gonna hold a little bit longer. And I like to hold with my glutes engaging. That makes my lower back feel safer. I feel the back muscles lifting up, the shoulders away from the chest. And then that back side of my thoracic moving diagonally up, opening the sternum, lifting the chin, breathing in, and exhale, come down. Turning the head in the opposite direction, making a pillow with the hands. Full inhale, full exhale. And then Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana means boat pose, and we're gonna reach our arms forward, and we're just gonna lift the right side of the canoe, so the right hand, the right leg, and lower, and then the left leg, left arm. And see if you can really lift that left thigh. So you're stretching again at the inguinal top of the thigh, below the hip area. Then exhale. And then both arms and legs, kind of like you're flying. And try to keep the arms up next to your ears. Try not to lift your head and drop your arms. Feel like your arms are flying upward, as are your legs. And lower down. As you exhale, really pull your abdominals back and stretch your lower back. We're gonna do Dhanurasana, bow pose. You're gonna only do one side at a time, just like we did with Shalabhasana. Take your right hand back. See if you can bend your right knee and catch your right ankle. And then inhale, lift that right leg, thigh, arm up as high as you can. And exhale, switch. Reach your left arm back, catch hold of the left ankle, and lift the left ankle. And I kind of flex my foot. Sometimes I stretch up to the metatarsal. Sometimes I point the toenails up. and then release. And then we're going to try both. Reach both hands back, catch both ankles. Kind of engage your glutes, press your pubic bone down, and start to lift from your legs. Now here I like to flex my feet, really feeling like I'm trying to put my feet on the ceiling. And then at a certain point, it will pull your chest up, pull your sternum open. I'm going to stretch the chin slightly forward and exhale. Come down. And one more. So when you're ready, this time, if that was not too hard, we're going to reach around and interlace our fingers around our ankles. And then, so we're kind of bound. We're going to lift our feet up. And exhale. Come on down. Push your hands underneath your chest. And with your exhale, push back and come into child's pose. So as soon as I come into child's pose, I'm going to take my belly and move back and stretch my lower back out. Let my heart come down, open up my sternum, stretch my arms forward. Now, some people like to take child's pose with their arms this way, next to their shins. You can try that. The thing that happens is the sternum collapses if we take our arms by our sides, which is okay. All these poses are stimulating so many good points, but I kind of like stretching the arms forward, although it is less relaxing. Okay, so now we're going to stretch the legs out in front of us. I'll come a little closer. Okay, and this is called Marichyasana 0. So I'm going to take my left knee and bend it. My right leg is straight. And if you're a little stiff, what's really wonderful is to put a blanket underneath your sitting bones. So I'm going to take my left arm up. So I'll mirror you guys. And I'm going to take that left elbow on the inside of the left knee. And we're going to turn to the right. And we're going to use that left elbow against the inner left thigh, like a kind of a crowbar, to start to turn the chest and the whole spine around to the right. Now, a lot of times, especially in Marichyasana C and D, the chest concaves. So I love this Marichyasana 0 because I can really resist concaving the chest. And release, change sides. So the right arm reaches up, the right elbow reaches inside, and I'm going to turn to the left. So generally when we do twists, we turn to the right first to benefit the liver, and then we turn to the left. Good, okay, come center. Now keep that right knee up, and now we're gonna take Marichyasana C. So you're gonna reach the opposite arm up, and with your exhale, hook the elbow, if you can, on the outside of the right knee, and turn to the right. Don't worry about the binding that we do in Ashtanga. Enjoy not binding and trying to find that raw line back muscles, the thoracic, to stretch forward and open the sternum and stimulate jatru. and release. And bend the left knee and reach the right arm up on the inhale. And with the exhale, swing it around and turn to your left. Rolling the shoulder blades down the back and the armpit flesh opens. Great. Okay, release. Now one more twist. Twisting is great because it's just reorganizing all those organs and massaging. This is called Ardha Matsyendrasana. So your left leg is going to fold underneath you and your right foot is going to come to the outside of your left thigh. And I'm still sitting on a blanket, so it's kind of easier this way. And I'm going to reach my left arm up. I'm mirroring you. And I'm going to put my elbow on the outside of my right knee. Now this is very much like Marichasana C with a bent underleg. Now if you're feeling great and you're twisting and your gut is really moving around to the right, you can try the second series pose where you reach that left forearm down and try to catch the inseam of your right foot. And then the right arm goes back and catches the back of your thigh. Great, and release. And change sides. So your right leg bends underneath you first, and your left leg crosses that thigh, and then your left hand kind of supports you as you reach your right arm up on an inhale, and then exhale, see if you can swing it to the outside of your thigh, and use it like a crowbar. So this is a great position. You don't need to go any further. Just breathing. Notice how you're really turning, twisting the intercostal muscles. So in the fall, we don't want to catch the flu. We don't even want to get a cold these days. So breathing, stretching in that rib cage area, swallowing every once in a while, yawning when you feel the need to yawn. Great, and release. And then I'm going to turn sideways to show you Paschimottanasana. So a lot of people will say, oh, I don't need Paschimottanasana demonstration. But it's kind of fun if you have a strap sometime, you might not have one near, to do Paschimottanasana almost straight spine. With just that feeling of, again, pulling the shoulders back and pulling the back thoracic muscles forward through the torso, opening up the chest, almost sending your chin up to the sky. So a lot of times, now you can go deeper if you like. It's more women as we age, the thoracic spine starts to convex quite a bit. And we often can get a hump here. And it happens with men sometimes too, but a lot of times with ladies. So all this stuff we're doing today is really preventing that and creating an awareness of this thoracic muscular back. So the back is strong, so the front can be open. Okay. And one of the last poses, not the last, we're going to do is shoulder stand. And I've kind of set up a little practice. I hope you can see all the way back here. Because sometimes I find it's very difficult to get up as high as I want to get up in shoulder stand. So this is a little short, this couch, but I've got 2 blankets because I like a lot of padding. And hopefully you can see, even if you can't do it today, I'm using my feet to lift and to send that back line forward into my heart. And then I'm gonna bend my elbows from here, and then I'm gonna take my legs up into shoulder stand. And I'm gonna keep trying to create this openness from the back body, lifting forward into the sternum. So whatever way you can, coming into shoulder stand if you're not already. And let's see what time it is. We have some time to hold it. Yeah, we have a little time. So again, shoulder stand and headstand are really the two main physical asanas. And we want to encourage this ability to stay. That's why I use the blanket, because it doesn't feel great on my neck unless I have some support. And once you're up there, try really utilizing your glutes. So the glutes should be engaging and lifting so much that you feel your rectus abdominis, which is the lower abdominal area, lifting as well. And then you can roll your shoulder from your armpit flesh outward and really come to the cap of your shoulders. And then voila, you're kind of in a back bend with chin lock. So you're getting a super fabulous stimulation of jatru. And at the same time, all inversions will provide strength, support, and immunity. When we think of all of our organs are now flipped upside down and stretching, it's just so beneficial. They never get in this position. So we've probably stayed about 2.5 minutes. Yeah, my phone says 2 minutes. So I encourage you to make sure you get enough props and to practice this inversion daily. Now, come into Halasana, plow pose. So you're gonna lower your legs behind your head. And you can also use a prop if this is hard. I'll just demonstrate the reverse way I would use this couch is I could put my legs on it for Halasana. And then, oh, this is so comfy. I'm gonna push my glutes towards my toes and around. And then you're gonna release your hands and slowly, slowly, slowly release down and come all the way, bending knees and bring the feet to the earth. And just taking a couple of normalizing breaths here. Okay, 2 more poses. The next pose, it's a supported fish pose. So I'm using 2 blocks, but you could also use 2 blankets. 1 block is a little higher. This is gonna be for my head. And 1 block is a little medium size. And this is gonna be for my bra strap line. So I'm going to lie down in Matsyasana fish pose. See, I've got that block right on my bra strap. And it's boom, opening that. Now I don't want to let my head back, lean back. I like it to lean back a little bit because I've got a long neck. So I'm gonna put these blocks on the same height. And then I'm gonna make sure that my butt flesh is coming towards my heels. So I'm just kind of making sure I'm not arching down there. And then stretch the legs out and rest. And then really, it's so nice to be supported. So if you don't have blocks, I highly encourage it. I'm going to demonstrate with blankets right now. So I could use a regular size blanket folded like an accordion and fold that in half. So that's going to come right on my spine. And then I'm going to need some blankets for underneath my head. And this is very good too. The thing about the block is it's really firm. And that firmness kind of just feels like it's safe to kind of just let go around the block. The blankets, it's a lot of folding, so they can easily get folded kind of asymmetrically. But anyways, hopefully you're in the pose. If you don't have blocks or blankets, you can just do the pose kosher style without any props. And this is how we do it, using the elbows to prop up onto the top of the head. And notice as you stay in the pose, all that area we've been speaking about this afternoon is stimulating. There's blood flow, there's plasma flow, and it's just a fantastic opening of the sternum. Okay, taking a breath longer, and then when you're ready, you're going to come out of the pose. And all these poses can be held longer because they're all very therapeutic. Not that any poses in yoga are not therapeutic, but when they're super challenging, it's hard to be stable, it's hard to be joyful. So this pose that we're gonna do last, you're gonna either start in Virasana with 2 blankets folded twice underneath your hips, or a bolster. If you do not like to do Virasana, you can also do Baddha Konasana, okay? So either here or knees together, feet apart. And I'm starting with my butt just at the edge of the carpet, and I'm gonna recline. So Supta means reclining, and when I recline, I'm gonna bring my hips forward, I'm gonna tuck my flesh that way, I'm gonna grab a pillow, and I'm gonna lie back on the blankets with a pillow underneath my head, like so. Now don't feel like you can't move. Like if you've gotten in this pose and it doesn't feel good on your knees, you can come up and you can slip your legs out into Baddha Konasana and then go back again. If you're in Baddha Konasana and you're like, this is too much stretching on my groins, you can put blocks underneath your thighs. And that's so supportive and so nutritive. It's really stimulating and opening the whole chakra system. It's supporting the opening of the heart and the opening of the throat. It's giving the head and neck plenty of support. So really this could be a pose anytime you feel stressed, overwhelmed, undernourished. So you can just stay in the pose and give you a little piece of homework that you don't have to turn in, you don't even have to talk about it, but it's something, a question And the question is for us to ask ourselves, where is the immunity preservation in my life? Where do I receive a sense of preservation, a sense of maintenance, a sense of support? And of course, the answer could be detailed and long. It could be one word. But the other day, I think all of you will appreciate this. I was walking Bella, my beautiful dog, as I do every morning and every evening. And it was just at dusk. And I just felt like I wanted some insight. And if I asked for insight, I would be given it. And so I asked, I looked up into the sky and I asked all the divine energies, what is immunity really about? And what do I need? And of course, you could probably guess, it's at dusk, I'm looking up into the sky. In my neighborhood, there's all these mature, beautiful, tall trees, and the birds are kind of flying. Maybe there's a couple bats because it's dusk. And it was, you know, this slow, nurturing, cellular experience of nature. And so nature provides that experience of santosha. Santosha means contentment, or we translate it as contentment. And it's not like not reaching for goals or not changing things we think need to be changed in our world, our mind, our society. But santosha is like this recognition of all the beauty that is available. And when I chant this verse in Ayurveda about disease, the first word is raga. The second word is roga. Raga is desire and roga is disease. So the first aspect of disease begins with desire. And so I was experiencing that nature, recognizing her beauty, is this contentment that all of us can have anytime we walk outside of our house. And we don't have to desire anything, because some desires are good, but most of our desires make our mind busy and make us feel unsatisfied with our life. And contentment, that was the insight, that contentment is really what immunity is about on a deep level. So I ended perfectly, 5:46. So you can come on up, and if anybody has any last words, you can unmute yourself.